Hey there, English learners. Welcome back to Easy English Class. I'm Marco, and joining me today is Erika. How are you doing today?
I'm doing wonderfully, Marco. Thanks for asking. I'm particularly excited about today's lesson because we're tackling something that confuses so many English learners.
Before we jump into today's topic, if you're new here, please subscribe to Easy English Class and hit that notification bell. We're here to make English learning clear, simple, and enjoyable for everyone.
And if you find this lesson helpful, give us a thumbs up and share it with your friends who are learning English. Your support helps us create more content to help learners worldwide.
So, Erika, you mentioned this topic confuses many students. What are we covering today?
Today we're going to master 3 tiny but mighty words: in, on, and at. These little prepositions are used for both time and place, and choosing the right one can feel like guessing. But by the end of this lesson, you'll know exactly which one to use and when.
INON and AT. I have to admit, Erika, even after years of speaking English, I sometimes pause and wonder, should I say in the morning or at the morning? These prepositions are tricky.
You're absolutely right, and you're not alone. Even advanced learners mix these up. The good news is that there are clear patterns and logic behind when to use each one. Once you understand the system, it becomes much easier.
That's reassuring. So, where should we start? Should we talk about time first or place?
Let's start with time, because that's where students usually struggle most. And we'll begin with the biggest time period and work our way down to the smallest. Think of it like a funnel, from large to small.
A funnel. I like that visual. So, what's the largest time period we're talking about?
The largest time periods use in. We use in for months, years, seasons, centuries, and long periods of time. For example, I was born in 1995. My birthday is in July. I love swimming in summer. Shakespeare lived in the 16th century.
So, IN is for these big general time periods. Let me try some examples. I'll graduate in 2026. My family takes vacation in August. The weather is beautiful in spring. Am I getting it right?
Perfect. You've got it exactly. IN is your choice whenever you're talking about longer, more general time periods. Now, here's something interesting. We also say in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening.
Oh, interesting. Those aren't months or years, but we still use IN?
Exactly. Even though they're parts of a day, they're still considered longer periods of time, several hours each, so we use in. I drink coffee in the morning, I have meetings in the afternoon, I relax in the evening. Do you have a particular routine that happens in the morning or evening?
Definitely. I always go to the gym in the morning before work. It helps me start the day with energy. But wait, what about at night? Why do we say at night and not in the night?
Excellent question. At night is actually an exception to the pattern. We treat night as a specific point in time rather than a long period. So we say, I sleep at night, or the stars shine at night. It's one of those English quirks we just have to remember.
English loves its exceptions. Okay, so IN is for larger time periods: months, years, seasons, morning, afternoon, evening. What about ON? When do we use that?
Great question. ON is for more specific time periods, particularly days and dates. We use on for days of the week, specific dates, and special days. For example, I have a meeting on Monday. My birthday is on July 15th. We celebrate Independence Day on the 4th of July.
So on is like zooming in a bit more specifically. Instead of the whole month, we're talking about a specific day within that month.
Exactly. You're getting the pattern. ON is for specific days. On Tuesday, on Christmas Day, on New Year's Eve, on my wedding anniversary. Anytime you can point to a specific day on a calendar, use on. When's your birthday, Marco?
My birthday is on March 23rd, and I usually celebrate with friends on the weekend closest to that date. So we use on for weekends too.
Yes. We say on the weekend or on weekends when talking about that specific time period. I relax on weekends. Let's meet on the weekend. However, Americans sometimes say on the weekend, while British English often uses the weekend. Both are correct.
Interesting regional difference. So we've covered in for long periods and on for specific days. That leaves AT. When do we use AT for time?
A T is for the most precise, specific moments in time. We use AT for exact times on the clock, specific moments, and certain fixed expressions. For example, the meeting starts at 3 p.m. I wake up at 6:30. Let's meet at noon. The movie begins at midnight.
So AT is like pinpointing an exact moment. It's the smallest, most precise time reference. Let me practice. I have lunch at 1 o'clock. The store closes at 9 o'clock p.m. The train arrives at 5:15.
Perfect. You've nailed it. And there are some special fixed expressions with AT that you should memorize. At dawn, at dusk, at sunrise, at sunset, at the moment, at present, at the same time.
This is starting to make sense. So it's like a hierarchy. In for large general periods, on for specific days, AT for exact moments. Can we summarize this with a visual pattern?
Absolutely. Think of it like this. In is like being inside a container, inside a year, inside a month, inside the morning. ON is like standing on a surface, on a specific day, on a date. AT is like pointing at a specific spot, at an exact time, at a precise moment.
That's brilliant. The visual really helps. So if someone asks me, when is your appointment? I need to think about how specific I'm being. It's in May is general. It's on May 10th is more specific. It's AT 2:30 is most precise.
Exactly. And you can combine them. My appointment is at 2:30 on May 10th. You're going from most specific to less specific, or you could reverse it. In May on the 10th at 2:30. Both work perfectly.
This is really clicking for me now. But we've only covered time. What about place? Do IN, ON, and AT work differently for locations?
Great question. The same three prepositions work for place, and there's actually a similar logic, going from general to specific. Should we explore that now?
Absolutely. I'm curious to see if the pattern is similar. Let's start with IN again. When do we use IN for places?
IN for place means inside an enclosed space or within boundaries. We use IN for countries, cities, neighborhoods, buildings, rooms, and vehicles you can stand up in. For example, I live in Brazil. She works in Tokyo. My office is in the downtown area. I'm in the kitchen. We're sitting in the studio right now.
So IN suggests being surrounded by or contained within something. Like I'm sitting in a car, in a taxi, in a train. We're inside these spaces.
Exactly. Though be careful. We say in a car or in a taxi because you're inside them, but we say on a bus, on a train, on a plane because you can walk around in them. It's about whether you're enclosed in a small space or standing on a larger vehicle.
Oh, that's a tricky distinction. So, I'm in my car because I'm enclosed, but I'm on the bus because it's a larger space where I can move around?
Precisely. And we also use in for bodies of water, swimming in the ocean, fishing in the lake, playing in the pool. You're surrounded by the water, so you're in it. What's a place where you spend a lot of time?
I spend a lot of time in my apartment, specifically in my home office. I also love reading in the park on sunny days. So we use IN for outdoor spaces too.
Yes. When you're within the boundaries of an outdoor space, use in the park, in the garden, in the forest, in the desert. You're within those areas. Now let's talk about on for places.
Okay, I'm guessing on for places means on a surface, like physically on top of something.
Excellent guess. ON indicates contact with a surface. We use on for streets, floors, surfaces, and when something is touching something else. For example, the book is on the table. I live on Main Street. My apartment is on the 5th floor. There's a picture on the wall.
So on means there's direct contact with a surface. The cup is on the desk. My keys are on the counter. We're standing on the ground. It's all about that physical connection.
Exactly. And here's an important distinction for addresses. We say, I live on Oak Street when talking about the street name, but I live in Los Angeles when talking about the city. Street names get on, but cities and countries get in.
That's really helpful. So, my office is on Fifth Avenue in New York. Well, the street gets on, the city gets in. What about building numbers?
Great question. For the specific building number, we use AT. I work at 350 Main Street, but we could also say I work on Main Street if we're just naming the street without the number. English gives us options depending on how specific we want to be.
Interesting. So, that brings us to AT for places. When do we use AT?
AT is for specific points or locations, especially when we're talking about a place as a destination or meeting point. We use AT for specific addresses, buildings as destinations, and common locations. For example, let's meet at the coffee shop. I'm at home, she's at work, we'll see you at the station.
So, AT is like marking a spot on a map. Let's meet at the library, at the bus stop, at the entrance, at the corner. It's about pinpointing where something is or where we're going.
Perfect understanding. A T treats the location as a point rather than a space. I'll meet you at the restaurant focuses on the restaurant as a meeting point. I'm eating in the restaurant emphasizes being inside the space. Same location, different focus.
Oh, wow. So sometimes we can use different prepositions for the same place, depending on what we want to emphasize. Can you give me more examples of that?
Absolutely. Here are some. I'm at school means I'm there as a student doing school activities. I'm in school could mean I'm physically inside the building. Wait for me at the mall means meet me there. I'm shopping in the mall means I'm inside shopping. The preposition changes the meaning slightly.
This is fascinating. So the choice of preposition can actually change the nuance of what we're saying. Are there any special expressions with AT that we should memorize?
Yes, There are many fixed expressions with AT for places: at home, at work, at school, at university, at the airport, at the station, at the door, at the top, a T the bottom, a T the end. These are just set expressions that we memorize. Do you have a favorite place where you like to spend time?
I love spending time at the beach. I can relax at the shore, swim in the ocean, and sit on the sand. Oh, look, I just used all three prepositions for one location.
Perfect example. That shows exactly how these prepositions work together. You go to the beach, you arrive at the beach, you walk on the beach, and you swim in the ocean. Multiple prepositions, one location, different relationships.
This is incredible. I feel like I'm finally understanding the logic. Can we do a quick summary of the patterns for both time and place?
Absolutely. For time, use in for long periods like months, years, seasons, morning, afternoon, evening. Use on for specific days, dates, and special occasions. Use AT for exact times and specific moments. Think, general to specific.
And for place, use in for enclosed spaces, cities, countries, buildings, rooms. Use on for surfaces, streets, floors. Use AT for specific points, destinations, and addresses. It's also general to specific.
Exactly. The pattern is consistent. In is general and enclosed. On is medium specificity with contact. AT is precise and pointed. Once you understand this hierarchy, choosing the right preposition becomes intuitive.
But Erika, I'm sure our viewers are wondering, what about all those exceptions? English seems to love breaking its own rules.
You're absolutely right. There are definitely some exceptions and idioms you just have to memorize. For time, at night instead of in the night, at the weekend in British English, at Christmas or on Christmas Day. For place, at home, not in bed, not on bed, on a bus, but in a car.
So there are patterns that work most of the time, but some expressions are just fixed and we need to learn them through exposure and practice.
Exactly. The best way to master these exceptions is through reading and listening. When you encounter these prepositions in context, in books, movies, podcasts, your brain starts to internalize which ones sound right. Have you noticed certain preposition combinations that just sound right to you, even if you can't explain why?
Yes, like interested in just sounds right, but good AT also sounds correct. I guess those are different kinds of prepositions, though.
Great observation. Those are actually dependent prepositions, prepositions that follow specific adjectives or verbs. That's a whole other topic we could cover in a future lesson. For today, let's focus on IN, ON, and AT for time and place.
Good idea. So, how should our viewers practice using these prepositions correctly?
The best practice is to create sentences about your own life. Talk about your daily schedule. I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I have breakfast at 7:30. I leave home on weekdays at 8. I work in the office on Monday through Friday. Making it personal helps it stick in your memory.
That's excellent advice. And what about four places? How should viewers practice those?
Describe your location and movements throughout the day. I live in New York on Maple Street at number 42. I work in an office building on the 10th floor. I buy lunch at the cafe on the corner. I exercise in the gym at 6 p.m. The more you practice in real contexts, the more natural it becomes.
I love how practical these exercises are. Before we wrap up, are there any common mistakes you want to warn our viewers about?
Yes, here are the top mistakes I see: saying in Monday instead of on Monday, saying at 2020 instead of in 2020, saying in the bus instead of on the bus, and saying AT Main Street instead of ON Main Street. These little errors can really affect how natural your English sounds.
Those are really helpful warnings. I think many learners make exactly those mistakes because they're translating directly from their native language.
Exactly. Prepositions rarely translate directly between languages. That's why learning them in English context is so important, rather than trying to find equivalent prepositions in your native language. What works in one language doesn't always work in English.
Such important advice. This has been an incredibly comprehensive lesson, Erika. I feel like our viewers now have a clear framework for choosing the right preposition every time.
I hope so. Just remember, in for general, enclosed; on for specific, surface; at for precise, point. That simple pattern will guide you correctly most of the time.
Perfect summary. Now, before we finish, we have a challenge for everyone watching. We want to hear from you in the comments.
Yes, here's your challenge. Write 3 sentences in the comments using all 3 prepositions: in, on, and at. You can write about your schedule, your location, or anything about your life. For example, I study English in the evening on weekdays at my desk.
Great example, and don't worry if you make mistakes. That's part of learning. We'll read your comments and we might even give you feedback. What's one sentence you can share about where you are right now?
And here's a bonus challenge. Try to catch yourself when you use these prepositions in your daily English practice this week. Notice which ones you use correctly and which ones you struggle with. Awareness is the first step to mastery.
Excellent suggestion. This has been such a valuable lesson, Erica. Thank you for breaking down these prepositions so clearly with visual explanations and practical examples.
Thank you, Marco. And thank you to everyone watching for investing time in improving your English. We know prepositions can be frustrating, but with practice, they'll become second nature.
Before we say goodbye, remember to subscribe to Easy English Class if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you never miss our lessons.
Please share this video with anyone who struggles with IN, ON, and AT. And honestly, that's probably every English learner you know. Together, we can help more people communicate confidently in English.
Thank you all so much for watching. Keep practicing those prepositions, and remember, even native speakers sometimes pause to think about which one is correct. You're doing great.
Take care, everyone, and we'll see you in the next lesson. Keep learning, keep practicing, and don't give up.
Goodbye.